Okay, so I just want to show you guys how I look right now. It's 8:13 and the man was supposed to be here by now and he has not showed up. Like, I wasn't planning on having sex with him, but you know, I was planning on spending time with him, and as you guys can see, my baby bump is significantly smaller and my phone is not even really that bright right now. And they were calling my baby Trey Baby in the Montgomery County Jail. They were saying my baby was a Trey baby when I was showing and denying us extra food. I'm trying to get right here so y'all can see little tiny baby bump. And just want to show y'all the way Jehovah told me to do my makeup the other day, and I think it looks amazing. He wanted the messy lip on me right now. I think that's sexy. But I'm just not in the mood to really do all my beauty stuff like I normally do. This camera is not really showing that well. So I'm gonna flip this around and try to show you guys my belly from a different angle. Hopefully I can get a little more lighting. This light is seeming to be pretty bright, but it's showing very dim on my camera phone. And so the man has not showed up yet. And I want to go into a little bit of personal talk about what God said when they were trying to force me to have sex with Marcus Mitchell. What God said that he was allowed to do to me versus what he was not allowed to do to me. Okay, so you guys probably, let me try to turn it this way. Let me try to see if I can get a better view because you can't really see because my outfit is dark. And as y'all can see, my baby bump is significant. Like, I don't have on a bra. So, this is where my fundal height is. Here. And this is where my little baby's head is. So you'll see me often holding it like this. And the way God showed me in the Montgomery County Jail when I got out, he showed me as like completely flat. So I'm not surprised that they did this. He showed me walking around the black neighborhood with 2-piece and like a flat stomach. You know, sometimes you just don't understand God. You don't understand why he allows certain things to happen. And then there was some girls and a guy that were making fun of me. And they were like, how do we really even know you're pregnant? And God took my hands and he showed them. He was like, she's skinny. And showed my hips and he was like, she's skinny. And he said, and from here all the way to there, it's all baby. And I'm tired of people making fun of me. I'm tired of them making fun of my baby. The size that I saw a baby in an incubator when they had me in a motel room with Bruce White, I had a vision of a baby in an incubator, and the baby was about that big inside of an incubator, and it was going around. And I was in the hospital, and I had been running from the Atlanta police and from all the police in the United States because I shot the gun and I shot Austin, and so they were trying to shoot me, and they had guns, and I ran into a hospital. And I hid by this little incubator, and it was going like that. And I was looking like, okay, I hope they don't hurt me. I hope the police don't hurt me. I hope they don't recognize that I'm Andrea Jones and that they think I'm a visitor. And I noticed a little bitty baby going around in the incubator, and I was like, whose baby is this? and I saw that the baby had a little brown skin tone, and my mother was right there looking at the baby, and my mother is deceased. But in the spirit, she was right there looking at the baby, and I was like, oh, I said, that's our baby. And I said, it's my mother's bloodline. And she was looking at the baby, and they wanted to kill it. And God said something about his bloodline, and that Austin was abusing me and my son, but because I was black, because I wasn't white, that they feel like it was okay to kill me and my baby for protecting ourselves and to murder my son. I don't want to mess up my makeup, but when God showed me like us being starved from the Montgomery County Jail, he showed me in my apartment, and showed me pregnant. And my natural hair was very long in the Montgomery County Jail when I got out, and God had straightened it. And it was about right here, and I looked like a little lioness, and I was laying there with this little tiny baby bump, and my body was shaped like a model. And my baby daddy was in the apartment. And God said, Austin, don't you know that they are starving your baby mama? He said, don't you know that they are starving your baby in her? And then God let the baby hand come up out my belly and show Austin. And it was a skeleton. It was still baby, but it was skinny. And then I was recording the baby's heartbeat in the Salvation Army down here, and the baby's heartbeat has always reported normal. Every single time. I have never gotten a heartbeat reading from this baby that wasn't normal, according to what the heartbeat monitor said was normal range for baby. And so it would say the baby was happy, the baby was good, because they'll also tell you what mood they felt the baby was in based off of the heartbeat reading that we got. And Marcus Mitchell was there with me. I actually have the baby's heartbeat monitor. Hold on. Don't hang up, you guys. Don't hang up on us, please. I have it here, but it stopped working. It tapped it. Here it is. So here's the baby's heartbeat monitor, and it's by Hubble. And if you look at the bottom, this part is very soft. And I had a belt that went over it, that went over my belly, and you can, I guess, attach it. And Rochelle Frazier at the Salvation Army in February 2021 was the same month that they stayed for me to be out of the shelter, and the same month that I started dating Marcus Mitchell. I didn't know that they had set this up for this man to pick me up at the West End. I had been showing on my channel that I was sleeping out at the West End. They had been trying to attack me and the baby by the West End. And so I went and spent food money that a man sent me from California named Darius. And there were other people who given me food money, and I don't know, but I spent the $50 that was for food. I was in the shelter, so I figured I would make do. And I bought this $50 heart monitor from Target, and I just knew that I would get a heartbeat reading. And immediately I was so happy because I got to hear my baby's heartbeat for the first time. They never allowed me to hear my baby's heartbeat. They were telling me I wasn't pregnant, and they were trying to murder the baby. So I posted the baby's heartbeat reading online, and the people in the Salvation Army here, 469 Marietta Street, downtown Atlanta, they knew that I had a social media channel before I got to Atlanta.
Everybody all over the country knew that they had a pregnant African American woman in the back of the Montgomery County Jail for shooting a white male in self-defense and in defense of my 22-month-old son, and they decided unanimously to murder me because I was black. And so now they were trying to cover it up from state to state, and when they saw that I was posting on my social media that I was coming to Atlanta, they already had it set up for young black men to bring me into apartments and try to have me murdered. So when I came into the Salvation Army the first time to go into intake, they denied me. And I posted on my social media channel that they were housing 300 men that were on crack and drugs and refusing to house a pregnant black woman. And so I went back again to reapply to get into the Salvation Army, and finally they accepted me, and she wanted to know if I was pregnant. And I told her that I was, and she said that if I could not get a doctor within 10 days that she would put me out of the shelter. I told her that they were denying my pregnancy because they poisoned us and starved us in the Montgomery County Jail in Conroe, Texas for shooting my child's father in self-defense, and he was white. They let me out on all charges and are refusing to give me medical care. And so she said she would try to find somebody who could talk to me about it, but that she wouldn't try to put me out of the shelter because of my situation. And so then she assigned a woman named, her name was, Ms. Yarborough assigned a woman, but before she did that, she had a woman come to me and say, hey, do you have any family that you can go and stay with and we can give them a check for you being there? And I said no, because my family was trying to set me up to be murdered by not really coming forward and letting it be known. You know, they're trying to murder my sister. She's pregnant in the Montgomery County Jail in Conroe, Texas for trying to protect herself. They would not bond me out. They would not show up to any court dates. They would not try to see about the safety of my son. The only thing that God was showing me about my family was them doing witchcraft and voodoo and trying to murder me. I had conversations with my sisters in the spirit world with them saying, oh, I'm sorry, Andrea, but we're going to have to kill you because of the whites, because of whatever perks and affiliations that they were getting with the whites. And so it was heartbreaking, but Jesus Christ was on my side and he was fighting for me. He was fighting my sisters. He told my sisters that I'm done with your evil asses. You know, he had my back. And so I told the woman, I said, the Salvation Army, I said, no, I do not have any family, because I knew that she was setting me up. I knew she wanted me to go with a family member into an environment where they would try to cover it up, where they would try to cover up what happened to me and that I was pregnant. And I knew that that's why she didn't want me in the shelter, because I was by myself on my own. You can't call me a mental patient. I'm a grown woman in the shelter handling my business. You can't call me a prostitute. You can't call me a drug addict. They had black men trying to sex traffic me and give me drugs around the property of the shelter. They had them following me around the shelter on the property while I was trying to work on my evidence. They had black women trying to stage fights with me. And, you know, they eventually, when I started posting the baby's heartbeat and posting the actual evidence about my case, pictures of me and my son, what actually took place of my child's father getting out of prison and attacking me and my son in our home, then I had a vision of Ice Cube, and he took me into an apartment building and showed a graveyard in the back of the apartment building. And then the Holy Spirit said, they're going to try to murder you in an apartment building, around some apartments. But they're going to bring you to some apartments and they're going to do operations to try to kill you. And I was frightened. And then I had a vision while I was in the shelter. They started trying to stop me from putting out the evidence by trying to make me go and work on a construction site. And God said my job was to put out the evidence first. And so Rochelle was having people follow me from the property. We leave at 8 o'clock in the morning after breakfast. And she was having people follow me to the train stations and try to harass me at the train stations, people that work there, to try to stop me from putting out evidence that I was pregnant and that they did this to me and my child in the Montgomery County Jail, took my son and threatened to rape him. And you have another black woman trying to stop me from putting out that evidence while I was in her facility. And so she was being very rude to me. She was being very nasty to me. And I started to film it. And she's like, put your phone down. Put your phone down. And I said, no. You're not going to mistreat me in this facility. And so I started recording them trying to give me pieces of chicken that was that big, a chicken patty that was that big, and giving the other women chicken patties that were that big. And then so I said, ma'am, I said to the man who were making the trays, I said, sir, and it was a different type of piece of chicken. Theirs were fried, mine was grilled. And I said, sir, after you see a little piece of chicken sandwich that big, I was like, sir, I'm pregnant, and could you please give me another tray with a decent piece of meat, please? And he said, no, I will not. And I see you recording. Because they knew I was on social media. They knew I was pregnant. They knew what happened to me. But instead of just allowing a pregnant black woman to be in your shelter, you're over here trying to starve me for white people and cover it up. And they threaten to rape my child and kill him, mutilate him, give him herpes and AIDS. And Rochelle was running around with a platinum blonde wig on, thinking that she was a white woman, I guess. And so then they started bringing white people in the facility that were talking with them secretively in rooms. And once I saw that, I already knew that they're going to try to stage to have me out of here. And so I recorded the man refusing to give us extra food. Hold on 1 second. I recorded the man refusing to give us extra food. And the man, that's the guy showing up, I recorded the man refusing to give us extra food, and I recorded, after that, she had people following me from the shelter that worked there trying to stop me from putting out the evidence about my pregnancy. And so once I posted the baby's heartbeat, I had a vision, and there were black girls all in the room, and they were crying. And my mother was there, and my mother said, I went to Cynthia's to try to see your son, and Cynthia would not let me see your son. And then my mother, the other girls were crying, and one of the black girls was like, crying. But I need to put out this information because everybody in this country is trying to cover it up, and it's magnificently that you show up when this information is getting put out. He's gonna have to wait. So the girl said, he might be gone. But so the girl said, she said, why are they crying? And one of the black girls that I guess knew a little bit about Cynthia O'Vera, she said, because Cynthia is a child molester. And the other girls were crying because Cynthia said she was going to mutilate and let gangs rape my son. And the other girls knew how wicked Cynthia really was. He's gonna have to hold on because this information needs to get out, and I'm not gonna let the devil in until it does. So Cynthia is a child molester. And so the girls were crying because they knew they're torturing Andrea. The whole country is selling her out. And the woman who has her son is a child molester. And then God rose inside of me, and he said, I'm putting out this evidence because Rochelle was trying to stop me from putting out the evidence with her entire staff in the Salvation Army. And I said, I'm putting out this evidence. And I said, and I'm going back to Texas calling, and I'm going to tell what is going on, and nobody is gonna stop me. I said, I'm putting out this evidence, and I'm going back to Texas to see if my son is alive, because Cynthia threatened to kill him and rape him and mutilate my child with gang members. And everybody knew about it. And I said, and I'm going to see if my son is alive. I said, and he better be alive. And that was it. And then Rochelle staged to have me put out of the shelter. She tried to say I got into it with the girl in the shelter, and I recorded it, and I did not get into it with anybody. I was working on the evidence to my case. I didn't get into it with no one. And then she tried to fight me with this little baby in me, and Rochelle is that big and that tall. And she tried to fight me with a big old security woman named Officer Grimm who had guns. And I said, that's fine, just let me go back inside and get my stuff out of the shelter and I'll leave. She said, no, you better not go back in there. And said, I'll call the police, I'm calling the police. And I just left without my stuff, without the parts of my baby's heartbeat monitor. And then I met Marcus Mitchell at the West End train station after Rochelle put me out, and they set that up. And I was recording the baby's heartbeat in the house with Marcus Mitchell, and he heard the baby's heartbeat. And I got a video of him admitting that I was pregnant and that it was not his. And he admitted that I was pregnant by Austin, and he knew about it. And then I had a vision of my baby daddy trying to let white people kill the baby and not speak up for us, and let drug dealers pay him off. And they removed my YouTube channel with all the recordings of the baby's heartbeat monitor and tried to set me up to be murdered in a house by the West End on Oakland Drive and Merrill Avenue with a black man named Bernard. And I had to start the channel Leaving Egypt, the Andrea Jones case, and all the videos on that channel. And I had to start another channel called God Defeat Freemasons. And I had to start another channel, the Queen Andrea Antoinette Jones channel. And they still continue to starve us and try to murder us outside on the streets. They had Marcus put me out of the home. They had everybody put us out of their homes. And then they tapped my phone and had a white man try to beat me with a stick, and I had to pull a knife on him. And I had to pull a knife on a black man in Buckhead. I don't need to rush, because he didn't show up on time. And he didn't call. So I started doing this. And so he showed up. Hold on. So the man in a man in Buckhead tried to hit me with a stick while I was sleeping outside. We were getting into it with these people because they were bothering me. And so that was around the time that I made the video, The Name of Jesus is More Powerful. And then after I made that video, a white man tried to hit me with a big long stick, and I pulled a knife on him. And I said, if he run up, Jehovah murder him, because I know Jehovah will come out of me like he did in the jail when they tried to murder me. And so he's throwing me off by being over there knocking and stuff and trying to get in the room when I said, hold on. I'm serious about my children and what they're trying to do to me and my babies in America, and I'm going to get this information out. So I had a vision of the baby's heartbeat monitor in Austin getting drugs. Hold on a second. Well, in Austin getting drugs from a white drug dealer and allowing them to take down my channel and try to set me up to be murdered. Instead of coming forward and saying, I know she's pregnant, I heard the baby's heartbeat, and everybody knows that it's mine. And so now they have had me all in Clarkston, Georgia, trying to set me up to be murdered on the north side, on the south side, and I'm trapped in this city, and they're sex trafficking me. And they're still trying to kill it. And I pray that God brings shame on you, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, and Patricia Wheeler, and every other mayor in the state of Georgia, and every governor, mayor, and president, and authority in the United States, and every black person that's involved. But let me go ahead and talk to this man. I just wanted to let y'all know what's going on. Okay, so I am stressing so bad, y'all. Hold on. I'm stressing so bad because the man, he showed up
and I'm trying to finish working on this case about my pregnancy and about my son, and they got him showing up while I'm telling the information, and this is what they keep doing. Every time they see that I'm working on a certain video that's giving out certain information that they don't want people to know, they'll have him call me, or they'll have somebody else try to call me or text me and distract me. And then when they see me, telling information on videos, they have him show up, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then stop me. It's like I need to be working on the case about my son. I don't need no old man up in my face. And then so it's making me want to smoke because I'm being sexually abused, and I'm pregnant, and they're lying about it. And then they took my son, and during they abused my son, I was a stay-at-home mom with my baby, and my child father was abusing me, and I need my child, and I need medical care. I don't need to be tooting my ass up in nobody's face that I don't want to do it with. And I'm about to get a cigarette from somebody, and I gotta cut this off. I cannot allow this anymore because people with bad habits and making me have to be around people when I'm supposed to be working on this case. I'm supposed to be working on this case, and I'm going to work on it. And then the last time that I was making videos about my son, he could have stayed. He didn't have to get up and leave. He just got up and left. And then this was at a motel. I didn't never post the videos. I ended up erasing them because I had to post videos of people trying to kill me. And then so he just got up and left. And if he was wanting to be supportive, like he was saying, then he didn't have to leave. And so he just left, and I gotta work on this information, and then he's gonna leave. So I gotta get a cigarette. And I haven't smoked no cigarettes all day, but it's like, if they would have just give me enough money to eat and leave me in the room by myself and don't have anybody bothering me, I would be fine. Because I know that Cynthia doesn't have the right to take my son. God said she never should have tried to keep me from my son. And then you turn around and do witchcraft to me and saying that I cannot prove what you said that you were going to do to my child. And God knows that what she said that she was going to do. So, hold on. I need to figure it out before I do this. Oh my God, I just almost went into the wrong person's room. I could have got killed. Hey, you say you don't have no cigarettes on you? Huh? You got a room somewhere around here?
No, a friend of mine works out here. Well, he was working out here.
Okay, I'm really stressed. I need a cigarette. Hold on, do you have a cigarette you can sell me? Can you throw it up here? Yeah, you think you can make it? Thank you. Here, I'm coming. I just don't want cigarette smoke in the room. I'm about to smoke a little bit of this real quick. I'll be right back. You heard me?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta stop working on my case about my baby. And I already know why I have to stop doing it, because they set it up to let Cynthia keep my son and sex traffic me. So now as a mother,
Like, I don't want to be sexually abused. I don't. When a man is like 50 or 60 years old and they got you with him and lying about your pregnancy and threatening to rape your baby, that's why I haven't smoked all day. I didn't desire it. But when I thought about possibly having to show him my private parts and stuff like that, then I gotta smoke. I don't have to, but right now I just gotta get adjusted to having to like be with someone or spend time with someone that I don't want to. And I want to be working on my case about my son. Like, I want to. And this is what I did last time when he was in the room with me. I walked out of the room and I was making videos and he left. I was coming back, but he left. So Cynthia did witchcraft while I was in the jail. I told you she's a Satanist, and she threatened to rape my baby. And so there's no way I can prove it other than Jesus Christ and praying that he did protect my son with her and Joseph and Austin the same way that he protected me in the Montgomery County Jail from the correctional guards that were trying to murder me. I'm pregnant and I'm ashamed smoking a cigarette. There was like, I probably smoked a couple of times, you know, like one time in the room with the little black amount, and that was it. They got a black man coming down the hallway, and I'm about to walk. I want to see which way he's going first, because they don't need to be in my mouth. He's getting phone calls in my room, and they all got on gang colors. And this is what they want me doing, smoking. And it's like, Rochelle, I told Rochelle was trying to make it seem like I didn't want to get a job when I was in the shelter. She was trying to make it seem like I did not want a job. And then I told Rochelle, I was like, I'll get a job. I'll meet with your employee specialist, and you can help me get an apartment or whatever you want to do to get me out of the shelter, you know, the 30-day women's program. And she just stayed for me to put out because they didn't want me to actually be able to get the help. They wanted to sex traffic me. But I'm getting angry. And then the man is saying that I'm mistreating him and I'm being mean to him, but that's not what's going on. It's a setup. I'm not a whore, you know. But anyway, so I'm about to talk to him and see what he wants from me. Okay, so we were sitting right here, and I told him that I was not ready to have sex yet, that I wanted to take things slow. He didn't even give me a chance to finish talking with them. And he just got up and tried to slam the door. And his car is still right there. So I came out here like, where are you going? And I think he went into the office. So I'm trying to see what is going on, because I know what God told me was acceptable and what was not acceptable. So I left my room door open. He's not in. He is not in his car. So I guess I'll take it upon myself to record his license plate number on his vehicle while he's in somebody else's room, because he's not in the office. And he walked out of my room, went down the hallway. Maybe he went to another woman's room. I don't know. But my room is open up there. So y'all, I put my phone down and everything right here on the dresser. And he lied down right here. He still had his clothes on and everything. And I was like, so I'm not really interested. I said, so I'm not ready to have sex yet. And back to what God was saying that Marcus Mitchell could do with me, because Marcus was wanting to have sex with me and wanting to take off the condom and, you know, all this kind of stuff, and I didn't do that. And so then I had a vision, and Marcus had a wallet in real life, and the wallet was really thick. And even when it didn't have money in it, he had like a whole bunch of stuff in his wallet. It was just really thick brown wallet. And so I went to sleep and I had a vision of the shelter, and I had a vision of the pizza. They had been bringing pizza on Monday nights, and I had a vision of some crab legs that they had made us. They had made us some crab legs one time and told us we can have extra crab legs after dinner. And then there was some chicken that they had been frying, some chicken wings, and God said that the chicken wings were toxic, that they had done something to the chicken wings, and he was showing the rest of the food and then showing me like having to run from the shelter. And then he showed this old white man, and he was fat and he had white hair, and he had Marcus's wallet. And I was wondering, what is this old white man doing with Marcus's wallet? So Marcus was in the apartment saying that Satan was doing sexual things to him, and that Satan was bothering him every single night and basically molesting him. And Cynthia was saying that Satan did the same thing to her, and Satan is white. So then God showed me the old white man. The old white man was trying to have sex with me, and I didn't want to. And then God was like he showed me his penis in a condom, and it had blood at the top like semen, and like something was wrong with him. And then God said, do not have sex with him, and tell him that he can look at it, but do not have sex with him. And it was very significant because Marcus was saying that he had told them that he was bipolar schizophrenic in order to get out of jail and get on probation, and that he was acting as if he was dealing with some sort of demonic possession inside of the home every night. And I have visions, but I don't have demonic possession, kind of like what Cynthia did when she got in my body and Jesus had to cast her out, and she tried to stay in my body and get me to denounce Jesus Christ. So I don't know if these people who were trying to set me up to be murdered that are serving Satan ended up with some sort of demonic possession from actually denouncing Jesus Christ. And so the fact that he had Marcus's wallet was very significant, because he was walking around with the same exact fat wallet and claiming that it was his, and Marcus was walking around with that wallet and he was acting like a fat old white man in real life. So I remember my mother telling me at a very young age, she was like, do not have sex with old men because they'll give you worms. And so I don't want to have sex with old men. I mean, God showed me I can have sex with some older gentlemen, but you know, if I'm really not attracted to you and it's not, and you're being disrespectful, as if I have to do something with you, and I'm being taken advantage of by the system, and I'm being sex trafficked in the middle of me putting out the information, it just really shows the racism in this country and how they feel like they can get away with anything, including molesting someone's child and sex trafficking the mother. And so I was like gonna tell this man, like, I don't want to have sex with you yet, but I said, let's just get a feel for each other. And I was gonna let him look at it, you know what I'm saying? And I was going to get a feel for him and see if he could even get an erection, because some older guys expect for you to do all the work and they can't even get an erection. So, you know, he just was like, oh, I gotta use the restroom. And I was like, okay. He got up with an attitude when I said, I don't want to have sex yet. I want to get us to get a feel for each other. I didn't say anything about me taking my clothes off and letting him see me naked yet, but I was going to let him see me naked, you know, to start off with, you know, just to get comfortable with one another. And he got up with an attitude without even finishing the conversation. And then he said, oh, well, I was like, where are you going? And he was like, oh, well, I got to go and use the restroom. See, they have had so many different men take advantage of me already that he thinks that, oh, well, if I do this for her, surely I deserve to get some vagina. You know, most of the guys that I did sleep with were younger males. Some of them were actually attractive. And so it was easier for me to do it. But you can say, oh, he got your room, girl, you need to do that. But they should not be taking advantage of me, starving me, and trying to cover my pregnancy. So, and then they're sex trafficking me and acting like they don't know what they're doing. They said they were going to rape me when I was in the jail, that they all were going to have sex with me, and they're passing me around, and I don't appreciate it. And so he just got up and was like, okay, well, I'm going to go in. I was like, where are you going? He was like, I'm going to use the restroom. And so I said, okay, I'll make up the bed while you use the restroom, because, you know, I don't want to be sleeping on covers where this man is getting all sweaty and nasty all over the sheets where I'm sleeping in. It's disgusting. And one time I broke out on my skin because Bruce White was very disgusting. And I was sleeping on the same sheets as him, and it made my skin break out. And I had to use cortisone and stuff. And so, I was gonna make the bed, and he was like, oh, don't worry, I'm leaving. And then he just got up, and I was like, where are you going? And he just got up and slammed the door. So he just got up and slammed the door. And then so I went outside after him, and he was not in the office. His car was still outside. He was not inside his vehicle. I said, oh, okay, so he probably feels like, oh, well, I know somebody where I can get what I want, you know. And the thing is like, he's like, oh, well, I'm not a trick, and I'm not this, and I'm not that. I mean, we don't even have enough money in here for food, you know. Like, I have chips in here, and I got like $20, you know, to last me 5 days, and the key's not working off and on, you know. And so it's just really not a good situation for you to be coming in and trying to demand sex. He would have been better off saying, okay, well, I'll get your room for a week, and whatever, if you have sex with me, if that's what he really felt like I was obligated to do. But he came across trying to pretend like he wanted to help me, like, oh, I know you're pregnant, I want to help you, I'm not trying to force you to have sex with me, you know, let's just see how it goes. Try to present like he's a nice guy, and he's just a fucking dog. And so that's why I smoked a cigarette, because I didn't want to feel obligated to bend over and just start having sex with this man. You know, I don't know if he's carrying diseases. You know, I'm with child on top of that. And I'm just really tired and stressed out. I've been using condoms with everybody. There was one guy that I was dating in Texas, and I didn't know that he was doing the gang stuff on me until it was too late, and I did not use a condom with him. But the rest of the men I use condoms with, and I have not been burning. I have not had any STDs, and I don't want any, you know, and it's not safe to go from partner to partner because you're forced to do so. And they said that they were going to give me AIDS, and they said they were going to give me herpes. So I know that they're trying to carry it out. They had one man try to, I fell asleep at his house after he had sex with me. And while I was asleep, he tried to force himself into my rectum without a condom, and I knew that he was trying to pass me stuff. And thank God that I woke up, like while he was trying to do it. And he was like, oh, well, can I see you again? And I was like, I don't know about that, because you tried to put yourself in me while I was asleep, and you could have STDs, and I told you I do not have sex with men without protection, and that would be violating me, and I don't appreciate that. And so I went down and got the men's license plate number because this is wrong what they're doing, and I'm not going to put his license plate number on social media, but I'm hoping that he doesn't try anything slick, or I will. And so I called him and I was like, you're not in your room, you're not in the office, so where are you? And I knew that he was bringing me to a location that he was familiar with when he brought me here to a room where they have no microwave, they have no refrigerator, they starved me in here for 30 hours. There were men following me out of my room, there were women following me when I come out of my room, so I knew it was a setup. And so for him to hurry up and get mad that I didn't have sex with him and then run to someone else's room like that expected me to have sex with you because you know that I'm pregnant and that the United States government is sex trafficking me and threatening to rape my child with Cynthia. It's like, I'm not obligated to do anything with you on those terms. And so, like, oh, we'll starve her, leave her outside, don't help her, she doesn't deserve it. I don't want to have sex with you. And if I did do it, it would be because it was on my terms, and he chose to get up and run off with an attitude like a child. And so he knows the people in this building, or he wouldn't have ran off to their room so quickly with an attitude. And he said he was in another room. I'm not going to tell y'all the room number because I will use discretion for that. And he said, well, come down. He said, I'm over here playing cards. And he said, come down to their room or whatever. I said, you just walked off without finishing the conversation. And I said, so I'm not going to walk down to their room because it was a private conversation. And then he was like, oh, well, I'm handling some business right now, and then I'll be back down there. I said, no. I said, I'm working on a case about my children. When he came knocking on the door, I was telling you guys about what went on at the Salvation Army and how I ended up in this position and how they're trying to trap me in this city and continue to pull it off. And so he was saying he was handling business, and I'm like, well, my children are very important to me, so I said, if you feel like a card game is handling business and it's more important than you coming down and finishing a conversation that we were already having, and I said, then I'm just going to go ahead and finish working on the case about my children. And then so he was hanging up the phone, and then just kept hanging up the phone and just being disrespectful because they feel that they can mistreat me because Cynthia took my baby and threatened to rape my son, and no one has forced her to give him back alive. And then they're denying me medical care, and they all know I'm pregnant, and they see how I'm being mistreated, so they all think that they can do it, which is why I didn't even want to agree to allow him to come over here. Like I told y'all that I was going to cancel it, and I should have canceled it and just said, hey, you know what, I don't even want you coming over here right now. Like, I'm not ready, to have sex with you, and if that's a problem, then you don't have to come by, but I tried to accommodate him, and I was even willing to let him see my body and just kind of get a feel for each other, and so, we did it, but, whatever. So anyway, let me finish working on a case about my kids, and I gotta pray these demons off of me because he got me smoking a cigarette right now, and when people are demonic and they come around you, they just bring that negative energy. I shouldn't be being sex trafficked by my own family, by the government, by Cynthia, by Rochelle Frazier, by the entire city of Atlanta. And my little boy is precious. And these nasty old white people and racist young Caucasians and racist black men, they threaten to take advantage of my beautiful, precious virgin child. And they're Satanists. So I'm more concerned about his innocence than mine and his purity, because one thing about Satan is they want to ruin anything that's of God, anything that's pure, they want to defile it. And that's what they are trying to do to me and threaten to do to my son. And God showed me visions of the baby I'm carrying, and that the old black men in Atlanta are trying to abduct the child in my belly and force the child to give them oral sex. Okay, so it's like 2 hours later. I'm laying down in the bed, I'm asleep now, I'm naked, and I'm just now starting to fall asleep with my God. The Lord told me, cut the light off. Cause the devil creeping around your room. And then we want to show back up now. And I ain't trying to talk. I'm asleep. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who, did y'all knock on this door? Okay. I was asleep. Nah, I know who it was. Right there. Nah, he ain't playing on the door. He just in his feelings. Okay, so the Holy Spirit had told me, because my phone is dead. Well, my phone is on 13%. My phone was on like 1%. And the Holy Spirit was like, you need to lay down and cut the light off, because the devil is creeping around your room, because they trying to set me up in America like I'm not pregnant. And they got these black men transporting me here and transporting me there. And now he calling my phone. He was just at the door. He just knocked at the door. And I said, hold on, I'm getting dressed. No, hold on, because he calling me now. And I need to tell y'all what's going on. I'm tired of this bullshit. And so God will like cut off the light and lay down in the bed with your God. And hold on, let me see who talking about, and I'll tell y'all the rest. So now they got him trying to handle me, talking about he finna be up in my room in a minute. He walking towards my room, and we could have talked earlier, you know what I'm saying? And you walked out my room with an attitude and left. And then I said, okay, I'm finna work on the case about my son, and my phone started dying. And Jehovah said, go ahead and lay down, because the devil is creeping around your room, and they trying to pull bullshit on me. And I'm like, what do you want? He's talking about he coming back up here for what? What is you coming back up here to bother me out of my sleep? I already said I don't want to have sex with you, so what the fuck is you doing? And they need to leave me alone. I'm not fucking playing now. I'm starting to get upset, because I'm finna sit right outside and talk to him, because they think they're gonna keep pulling bullshit on me and my kids, and he out looking up in my room. What the fuck is you looking up in my room for? What's up? Huh? I was gonna talk to you earlier, but you walked out with attitude, so I don't want to have a conversation right now. I was asleep. I want to go back to bed. I'll talk to you later on. All right. I'm not finna do it. I don't care what kind of evil shit they try to pull on me in this room. I don't care if he tried to do something to try to get me out the room, because he said I could stay in the room. Y'all see, I've been staying in the room, but they'll try to do evil stuff. So I'm finna turn the camera around, and I'm gonna tell y'all what was happening in my heart when he came and started knocking on the door again. So I'm gonna just lay down for a second and tell y'all how I feel about it, because Jehovah was like, Holy Spirit was like, the devil is creeping around your room, because all these black people in this country know that I'm pregnant, and they know that they done bowed down to Satan, and they know what they did, and that's trifling, bro. When Jesus Christ got to come to the children that did not do it, and then tell on the rest of y'all, and then y'all letting these folks steal my child and try to do Satanism with my child, and Then they over here plotting on the baby in my stomach. God was like, the devil is creeping around your room. And I told y'all about the vision, on some of the visions where I was lying down asleep with my hair like that. I gotta add the titles to the videos, and it was the God was showing me last night in the vision that they got black men that want to try to just straight up kill us now because all the information that's coming out about my pregnancy. And God was telling me to protect myself by all means. So he knows, God knows what they doing to me in this country. And so when I lay down with Jehovah, because God is with me, when God told me to cut off the light and lay down and don't worry about what this man is trying to pull, because he got up and went straight to somebody else's room when I said I didn't want to have sex with him. But I said, let's talk and get a feel for each other, and I was gonna let him look at me, but he just got up and left with an attitude and went to somebody else's room. They plotting on me, you know what I'm saying? And then he getting phone calls, and you know, and that's what they all do, because when the whole country plotting on you, they making calls, they going to meet up with each other, they trying to handle you this way, somebody telling them to handle you that way, and it's all for their own sick agenda. Cynthia not giving me back my son and not giving me medical care for this baby, and Austin, me pressing charges on my baby daddy, and the truth just being given justice. The truth is already out. I need my justice and my children's safety with me, and we have rights. We had a home. God said that they got to have repercussions about that, and so they over there trying to have me on the streets and then pass me around. And so when I was laying here with God, he was like, basically the Holy Spirit was like, you with your God, just lay down, devil creeping around your room. And so I cut the light off, I took my dress off, and I laid down with my God. And I was thinking about how they were saying that they was gonna rape me, and they know that I don't want to have sex with none of these men. They stole my home, they stole my child, they denied me medical care, they put me out of shelters, they had family put me out. And so every man that's sleeping with me know he really does not have a right to be sleeping with me, because he knows that she be starving. You know, she outside, and we taking advantage of her and her situation, and it's basically a form of rape. And so I thought about how many men that they thought that they was all just gonna be like, oh, she gonna do it with you, and then she gonna do it with me next, and then she gonna do it with me next, and she gonna do it with me next. And these are the same men that's covering up the fact that she said she gonna molest my child. She got black Freemasons, black men, gang members doing this. And I could just picture myself in a room with all these men taking turns having sex with me, and seeing me just in pain, and you know, and because of Cynthia threatening to rape my child, and then they over there doing that to me, doing it to his mother. And I just was like, let me just lay down with my God. And then I thought about the demise of these black men and of these black women sitting over here having sex with these white men and these white women. And I remember seeing some pornography and just seeing how out of hand it was getting, seeing black men sleeping with white men, like, and, you know, the gangster type, you know, sleeping with white men. And at first, you know, you'll think it's just sex, and then you see the black woman sleeping with the white woman, and then at first you'll think, oh, it's just sex. But, because that was like, oh, you know, homo, LGBT community movement and stuff. But then when God said that they was worshiping them to the point where you will try to help these white people set me up to be murdered, and then you talking about forget about Jesus, y'all don't care about going to hell, and y'all running around, you got the black man having sex with the white man, and then denouncing Jesus, and then committing crimes with him against women and children all over the country, and robbing and killing folks, and then you turn around and willing to go to hell with this white man who is trying to embody Satan, because he's white and he got the bloodline, and so he's trying to be all demonically possessed, and then have the black man denouncing the Lord and bowing down to the white man like he God. And then him and the white woman still want to get married, and like white women still want to be with white women, white men still want to be with white men, but you got the black woman over there pleasing the white woman, and you got the black man over there pleasing the white man. You know what I'm saying? And then you want to defile the union between the black woman and the black man. And then you want them to denounce their God on top of that and be doing all these sexual sins and abominations with y'all. And now y'all got them lying about my pregnancy and committing those kind of crimes against me and my children with y'all. And then y'all got them helping y'all kidnap my little boy and threatening to rape my child and kill my child. Y'all got them covering up all the evidence of my case. And then the most biggest crime is to sit over there talking about you willing to go to hell with these folks. And then I say, I know Jesus Christ have been fighting these wicked black men. And I know they just have not told me about the fights that they done had with Christ since they done decided to worship this white man out here committing crimes with this white man. And then I just was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not finna get caught up in the world with all of that wicked, abominable, sex stuff that they doing. And that include whatever this man was trying to come up in here and do to me. I was like, I'm not getting caught up in it. And I was thinking about me having to end up back at the bus stop, sleeping at bus stops and benches, and thinking about me not having enough food to last me through the week and them mistreating me. And I just was like, I'm pregnant and I just need to be lying down and I don't need to be stressing about anything. And I just closed my eyes and I fell asleep. So I'm about to go to sleep with the Lord, and they got me looking crazy on my social media, abusing me, and I was supposed to present myself looking good while putting out the evidence. And God said, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I'm noticing the pictures that they using out of the videos on my channel, and it's making me look crazy. Instead of picking a nice clip from the video and letting that be. But maybe that might get it to views. Maybe that might show people how they treated me. Maybe I don't need to look pretty in every video, because then people probably won't know that they abusing me. I don't want to look crazy on my channel, but the main thing I don't want is to be silenced. I don't want somebody to try to remove my channel again, like with valuable information, like my baby heartbeat readings and stuff. My heart is broken, and I'm praying that this time that the people on the YouTube platform will hand the evidence over to people on this earth who can help us. In Jesus' name I pray. And I'm about to go to sleep. Y'all see, I was asleep already. My eyeliner gone off this eye. And I still got eyeliner on that eye. I mean, when you going through it about your children, it's not always going to be pretty. I didn't get on social media trying to be no celebrity. I do music and stuff, and I do have a personality, but I got on this channel to put out evidence about my children and to be rescued. I was always very private. I didn't have a Facebook. I didn't have anything. I just stayed to myself with my son. So I'm very comfortable being on social media because of my children, period. I need the truth to get out about what these people trying to do to me, trying to do to us in America. So yeah, have a good night. And I'm making this last clip of the video just to let y'all see that I'm going to sleep There's so many people plotting on us. They plotting on my every move, and what I don't show, they plotting on that. And I'm going to sleep in this room by myself with my God. I mean, I'm by myself. I'm the only human being up in here other than my little baby and me. But I'm with my God, and the man is not in the room with me, and I'm going to sleep. I'm not going back out there messing with them folks. I don't fool around with people. But Father God, please help us. Lord Jesus, please get us some help, Father. And I don't mean no fake help. I mean some people that's going to come with a vengeance about people trying to murder my baby and threatening to rape my child. In Jesus' name, Jehovah deliver.